Hey everyone, welcome to the 2014 North American Challenger Series, brought to you thanks in part to our friends at Coca-Cola. Dude, Frick Turley, alongside me is Aiden Zyrene Moon. And Crepo, I don't know why you're afraid of making bad jokes now in pregame, because we've heard them from you for like 2 years now.
Speaking of bad jokes, heard them from you forever. And now we're going to continue on with that throughout today.
This is the first wrong call of many you've made now, because I always make good jokes. I don't know what you're thinking.
No.
There's a reason I called Crepo the Pun Padawan earlier today. He will soon become the Sith Master. I know that swaps sides, but he will join the dark side with me and make good puns. Anyway, guys, today's semifinal matchup features 4th seed LOLPro against 8th seed Frank Fang Gaming, and whoever wins is going to head to London next weekend for the Summer Series 1 Finals in front of a live studio audience. So it's a little bit on the line today.
Yeah, and one player on Frank Fang Gaming is accustomed to the spotlight and even walked away from it when he didn't meet his own lofty standards. It's former CLG top laner Nian Tanso, who stepped down at the end of the spring split, but has since joined Frank Fang Gaming, and Nian's got his groove back, this time as the shot caller for Frank Fang Gaming.
We'll see if he can bring that LCS experience in, but Frank Fang Gaming hasn't really been tested, I should say, by top-tier talent yet. They've breezed through the round of 20, round of 10, but in the quarterfinals, they got a forfeit win over XDG, so untested means we haven't seen them in over 3 weeks in the Challenger Series.
Yeah, it's been about a month since we've seen them, but meanwhile, longtime Challenger contenders team LOLPro are back with only one roster change since the beginning of 2014. It's former CLG Black member Hood Stomp as their new AD carry, but Lod has emerged as the backbone of this team. He's only died 5 times in the last round against Area of Effect, so if he can stay alive in that mid lane today, they'll be tough to beat. And Lod has been their linchpin, moving from AD carry to mid. One of the greatest role swaps I've seen in the Challenger Series.
He basically pulled in the end. Dude went from AD carry to the top lane, AD carry to the mid lane.
Pulled a Slushy as well.
Yep.
AD carries make really good players in other roles.
They seem to, because we're the most skilled of all the League of Legends players. Oh, AD carry players, you're wonderful. For those of you who can read bracketese, here's how our summer tournament has played out so far. Today's semifinal matchup is going to feature LOLPro against, LOLPro, who swept Area of Effect in 2 games. They're going to be facing Frank Fang Gaming, who, as we mentioned earlier, advanced thanks to their forfeit over XDG.
And tomorrow's Team Coast, who also had a dominating quarterfinal match against Team Green Forest, will do battle against Curse Academy, who advanced due to a forfeit by Cloud9 Tempest.
And of course, with wins also come points, so here's the score so far. All 4 semifinal teams, Curse Academy, Frank Fang Gaming, Team Coast, and Team LOLPro, are all tied in first place with 4 points, and more points will be earned if they can win any more games.
Yeah, and the 4 teams on the bottom, Area of Effect, Cloud9 Tempest, Team Green Forest, and XDG have been eliminated and can no longer earn any more points in Summer Series 1. They'll have to requalify in order to carry their scores over to Season 2.
Yeah. So, I wonder, has anyone forgotten to carry their points over from Season 1 before?
I don't know, Freak. You tell me.
You know what? Actually, they have. Of course, the tireless men and women of LevelEsports.com would remind them. So you keep going to the website. They'll do the scorekeeping for you. So just keep up with stuff.
That's really refreshing to hear.
Yeah, it's useful. So under these scores, you can find schedules, you can find scores, you can find everything you want to know all season long for the LCS and Challenger.
Even the teams looking to usurp the pros in the tournament, designed to keep the LCS competitive as possible.
Yep. All of them can do it. Everybody. Especially those teams.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, we're awesome all around. So almost as cool as today's best of 3 semifinal matchup. Segues between Team LOLPro and Frank Fang Gaming, which is about ready to begin. The winner of this series will head to London again for the Summer Series 1 Finals, compete in front of thousands of fans, British fans, which is awesome. We haven't seen you guys in a while. And that sold out Wembley Arena this weekend.
Yeah, and now everybody wants to go to London, right?
Yeah.
And if you're in EU, it's not that big of a trip, but coming from NA, I know these guys want to compete there. I know they want to be on that stage, being cast by the EU LCS casters, and just having a great time all around. A little bit of a vacation, too.
Sure, and unless you're from Seattle, it'll be nice to see rain all the time, like 24/7, bangers and mash, and Indian food.
From Washington, I love the rain.
Yeah, great. So it won't even be any different if you went there.
Yeah, pretty much be the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that bad, actually. People complain about it, but I'm like, no, it's pretty good. It's the perfect weather to stay inside and watch League of Legends.
That's true. Unless storms bring power outages. So I suppose the infrastructure is used to it, right? Like, I feel like you don't have many power outages.
All right. Yeah, but anyway, talking about these games that we're going to have today, it's Frank Fang Gaming versus LOLPro. And Frank Fang Gaming, we're going to talk about their shot callers really quick. There's Nian Tanso in the top lane, and there's LOLPro. They have Low in the bottom lane as the shot caller as support, and they have those patented lotations. They basically haven't had a standout player. It's been their map movements that's really done it for, at least in my opinion, gotten them this far.
And actually, even though we talked about the fact that Nian, and we haven't seen his team in a while in the Riot Games Challenger Series summer tournament,
recently.
We have seen them play other Challenger tournaments outside of the Riot circuit, and he's a guy who pulls a whole bunch of bans, Yasuo and Lulu being the two ones you got to watch out for.
Yeah, he's a very big carry top laner now, moving away from the little tanky guys for himself. He's like, I want to carry. As the shot caller, it's a great thing to do.
Yeah.
You see top laners who are shot callers. You have Zion Spartan, you have Flame, you have California Trolls on Team 8. All these guys play a lot of carry top laners so they can just make the calls when they're ahead and know how powerful they are over their lane opponent and not do it from a position where you're like jungle, where you don't gauge all the lanes and things like that. So it's going to work out for him. It has been so far. They took second in the Black Monster Cup. And they did a fantastic job. Took Team 8 to 3 games there. Had a very great performance.
Definitely strong group of players.
Yeah, they definitely are. But I want to talk about somebody else here. We want to talk about the mid lane matchup here. We have Laud from LoLPro versus Baby Zeus. And Baby Zeus has been having a fantastic series so far. Granted, we haven't seen them in a while, but he's a fantastic player through and through. We've seen him on the cast, and we've seen him on multiple champions so far, and he's a veteran of that mid lane. Combined with Nian Tanso's top laner, he constantly roams up there and ganks for Nian Tanso. Nian Tanso basically has 2 junglers making trips there.
It's a good way to be. And ever since in your lane gives you kills all the time.
Well, he also gives out the most information as the shot caller. He's like, this is what's happening in my lane. Come up here now.
Yeah. And it's been my experience of playing with people, and obviously not at the skill level of these players, to be fair, but there's actually a lot of players who are very good at the game, but when you're very good at solo queue, you're used to not talking with your teammates, but you might ping things out, you might time stuff. There's actually a very real skill in just delivering the basic information of flashes down till 7 minutes. Oh, hey, this is a dive. This is like a dive that's available. If you guys hear a lot of interviews from players, especially junglers will tell you, jungling is so different in solo queue versus the competitive scene because there's so much more communication there. People will tell you where ganks are instead of finding them yourself. And so a player like Nian, who is used to delivering information, one of CLG's big strengths is their communication, back when he was on that team, right? Like, it's a skill set that you don't see, obviously, from gameplay, but manifests very much within a team.
Yeah, and Nian wasn't really a big voice back on CLG.
Yeah. Now
he is the main voice of Frank Fang Gaming, making the shots, making the calls, complete 180 here for him. And he said he loves it. He loves calling from the top lane. It's an immense amount of fun. I think he said it's the most fun he's had in League of Legends.
That's awesome.
So he's got his groove back. He's ready to take down some LoLPro, but LoLPro, not going to be that easy.
No, but we'll see how good it's going to be and if Nian Tanso can be Stella here with his groove back. First ban comes through.
I take it back. Your jokes are great.
Syndra, of course, removed from Laud. He has been so scary on her. You gotta believe that came through. Nidalee also removed from Baby Zeus, and see the rest of the bans come through.
Yeah, I think there might be a Yasuo ban coming out here. You see LoLPro, they're actually targeting Nidalee, Ziggs. I think their last ban will be Yasuo here, because you don't want Nian Tanso to be on that champion. Oh, they're going to go with Cassie. Okay. So they're going to give over the Yasuo here if Nian Tanso wants to take it. But at the same time, you have a lot of bans to consider. There's LeBlanc still on the table. There's Braum still on the table. A lot of things here, and I don't think they'll ban away their own Yasuo. Sure. They'll most likely get it in their first round if they want it.
Yeah.
But
all the junglers on the table as well. I mean, I'm also just surprised that LoLPro banned 2 champs that Laud plays. Two of his most played in solo queue banned away by the team anyway. Braum actually does come through as a ban, so first ban we're seeing here. And Kayle immediately grabbed up, and now we've seen couple of Kayle versus Yasuo matchups in the mid lane.
That's really good.
That's a top lane matchup now.
Yeah. Kayle, Righteous Fury goes through Wind Wall. You can't do anything about that because it's not a projectile. It actually just ends up right on the person when you swing, so you can't block it. Big thing there. That actually dissuades them from picking Yasuo early on, and they might
watch him do it anyway.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. They're going to have to go with something else here. At least in my opinion, there's a lot of options on the table, though.
We'll see what they end up being. They got plenty of time to go through.
He does like his Lulu.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Lulu's still available, has ways to make good plays. We'll see if that does match up in this one. Yeah. The fact that he's clicked it like 3 times now means it's probably where he's actually going.
Well, Lulu also, I talked about this last time too, in the EU Challenger Series. Lulu goes even with Kayle in lane. For all intents and purposes, they do the same thing. An ultimate that's for the team. They have a range slow. They have a speed up.
Yeah.
Basically, in the lane, they do and accomplish the same thing.
Yeah.
Big thing here is that you're not going to pick a top lane bruiser. You're not going to pick tank against Kayle unless you're going to lane swap it.
Yeah.
That's the only reason you do so, because she just stomps everybody in lane except for Lulu.
We actually saw an interesting sort of predicament there in the Dignitas game earlier today, actually, where they just tried really hard to push the Lulu down, and the Jax, I think it was Curse, it was Kawas's Jax, actually got really big because they forced enough ganks from Dominate. And we had Crumbs at the desk, and he said, like, yeah, but Lulu has her CC anyway. Like, even if Lulu does fall behind, like, we'll just kill the other lanes. Exactly, right? So it's like, you don't have to necessarily carry if that's the case here. We're seeing the next few picks come out, though. Lee Sin jungle for Heaven Time. Of course, no contested jungle bans whatsoever. And the support Nami comes out.
Now, there's another possibility here, is that it's a mid lane Lulu, and then they will run Nian Tanso mid on Yasuo so they can get the Lulu-Yasuo combo. That's always still on the table, and they love that. They love setting it up for Nian. And it's still a very distinct possibility. They might actually wait until last pick to actually pick up that top/mid laner, whoever it is, so they can see who it would be up against and if they want to do that little lane swap.
I agree. I think that actually makes the most sense because we've seen Baby Zeus play Lulu in this tournament already, and the fact that they've now left it for the last pick as well to guarantee where that spot goes, I think this was absolutely the right choice made right here. So Lucian, Leona for the bot lane here. Jungle Elise coming through, picking that after Lee Sin's been grabbed away from the table. And now LoLPro has to solidify their entire team.
Yeah, they're going to have to show all of their cards. Mid lane Kayle, we saw one earlier today, going for the non-Runance Hurricane build.
Yeah.
Which didn't work out too well for that team.
Yeah, well, they were behind a fair bit, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's still a decent build.
It is a decent build. They're both really good builds, and the fact that she has multiple build paths and is a flex pick in that regard allows you to dictate a little bit of champion slice. So it is going to be that.
Okay, I like this team from LoLPro. It's a lot on Hoodstomp. You've got multiple, like literally everyone on that team can support him in some way. You've got a bunch of shields and vulnerability, but even though it's like a protect the cog, there's damage threats the entire way through the lineup.
Yeah.
LoLPro's team is really quite good. The only thing they're lacking is hard engage, but I like the team.
And a little bit of a tank. That's about it.
Yeah, Kayle can sometimes bridge that gap. Like, not always, right? Like, you still can't tower dive. Not really. You can block 3 seconds of damage, but like you're still going to be available afterwards. So
the lack of a hard engage here is a really big thing. They banned out the Nidalee. They wanted nothing to do with a poke comp coming up against them. It's a good plan there because they're really kind of a pullback. You come to us.
Yeah.
Like you said,
the poke.
Kayle's ready to receive you and be like, yeah, we're just going to do a ton of damage. Orianna will disrupt your backline, throw the ball, and you collapse on top of it.
Exactly.
Oops. Just tons of things can happen there. And I love the Nami pick here up against this bottom lane. It's already been established of Leona and Lucian. Like they picked it into it, but Leona does really well. They pick that afterwards into the Kog'Maw, and they can get to him. But can you get him off of the Kog'Maw? And they do go with the Yasuo pick here.
Okay.
I was sitting there like, that Nian just loves Yasuo and Lulu. They picked the Lulu very early on, and they put Baby Zeus onto Lulu and Nian onto Yasuo.
Yeah.
They have that combo available to them. That is their engage tool at this point. He can go ahead and get in very quickly.
Is a growth and Elise.
You can do it onto Leona as well if she gets in there. There's a lot of options here for Frank Fan Gaming to go all in, and if they can get to that back line and pick off somebody like Kayle, pick off Orianna very early on, or even get to Kog'Maw, that'd be absolutely wonderful for them. But I want to see what they do lane swap wise, or if they even do one, because Yasuo versus Kayle is not a favorable matchup for Yasuo, but Nian is good enough that he would be able to just go toe to toe. He'll lose out on some CS.
Yeah.
But that we've seen him do that on Yasuo before, where he just got pushed out of lane. He's like, I'm going to farm bottom for 10 minutes now. And it's like, okay, now I'm ready to fight.
Yeah, and I think it'll be a fun one to look for. I think I agree with you that Kayle's going to have a generally good time. I think just to set up the story, there's ways to outplay that matchup if you outskill your opponent. Right, if Nian has the mastery, right, early game you get the 4-stack E and you get some slices down on there, and then by the time you've got enough CDR to permanent Righteous Fury on Kayle, you've probably got Static Shiv.
Yeah.
Right, by the time Ashes come out, Static Shiv comes out, so you've got ways to burst through even though E is always on. So there's ways in, I think, that Nian can hold this matchup up, and he's a good enough player, he might just go for it anyway.
Yeah, and that's a big thing we're going to have to keep an eye on here is the shot callers and what happens in their lanes and how much attention they pull to it. Because Nian Tanso in that top lane, if he can get going, he can take the game completely over, whereas Low relies on rotations. He relies on, if we win this lane, we're spilling over into others instead of pushing straight down it. And just taking over the entire map and wrestling dragon control. Now, Nian Tanso's shot calling, it's actually pretty dang good.
Yeah.
Every time I've seen it. Same with Low, though. And the fact that Laud has typically been winning his lane just off of just sheer skill, up against Baby Zeus, have to see how that shapes up for him, because Baby Zeus is no pushover in any regard.
Yeah, he is not really. So here's going to be the fun one to watch for. These guys square off in the beginning of the game. So far, I don't actually want to say normal lanes, because look at this. Hood Stomp's coming back around the map, her left-hand side. So LawPro are going to initiate the two-man top lane. Looks like Frank Fang Gaming will not do that themselves. And we're going to have most likely a lane swap scenario then, as the level 1s pan out. Trinket wards come down. Now, Frank Fang Gaming, they did see that. I believe they saw that little like river brush in the southeast river, that ward come down, so they know when it times out, and they could do a delayed invade off that ward timing out.
We'll have to see if that's what they go for, but they're all grouped up here on this side. You can see that Hoodstomp is in the top lane by himself right now, so no matter what, they're going to go for a lane swap here for LawPro and try to get him some free farm. So they're not going into the Yasuo into Kayle matchup.
This is actually going to be pretty bad for Frank Fang Gaming right here. They've warded to actually watch the invade, but they've got to leave. They wanted to do a greedy start. They won't be able to get anything out of it, so they've got to run away, lose a bit of time. At least we'll have to solo her jungle. It'll still be a 2-buff start for both sides, but it's time lost right now for Frank Fang Gaming, as LawPro are still already getting the farm in the top lane, and heck, their top laner wasn't going to farm anyway.
There's a big thing here, too, is Nian Tanso on Yasuo. He's got to trek his way all the way to the other side of the map, because he's not going to get any experience just sitting around in that jungle area, whereas Heaventime and Hauntzer, they're taking their jungle.
And they're going to live up there. They're going to full clear the waves and keep getting a bunch of golden experience there. Looks like they'll run back and grab their own blue buff. So Ziploc level 2 here on Elise. Nian going to help and join this as they go for what looks like the Wraith Camp and the opposing red buff. This is safe, of course, with all the information that they had there from their defensive wards. And here we go.
Just the swaps and seeing if they go for a 4-on-0, but also at the same time, LawPro, where do they move next after this? They're going to go get the Wolves at the same time. Most likely the Wraiths will be getting taken. They leave one up. They decide not to get the timer, but instead to delay it.
That's a different style than Frank Fang Gaming. They're actually going to look for
3.5-minute dragon.
The early dragon. Thing is, so Yasuo Windwall, he doesn't actually have it. He didn't share any experience, pretty much whatsoever. So he does not have Windwall to block the damage output here. LawPro actually, they aren't looking at this at all, and they didn't push the top lane either. So this is an uncontested dragon, well picked up by Frank Fang Gaming. Really, really well done by Frank Fang as well to just juggle all this aggro. You're getting barely any damage coming out from the dragon. Exceptionally well done. And a 3.5-minute dragon goes down.
Yeah, they end up getting it for themselves. You know that LawPro had an idea that it was happening because they saw the bottom lane leave. And you don't just leave that free farm lane. And now in the mid lane, we see that Low has just come middle. He just hung out for a little bit. And up top, he left Hoodstomp to just free farm. So they're trying to put a lot of resources into that Kog'Maw, whether it's levels or CS, and see if he can carry the game in that mid-game, late-game portion. Whereas Hauntzer, late-game Kayle, is just an utter beast.
Oh,
See
yeah.
if they can get to that point. Both these teams are hyper damage.
Yes. And just enough utility to back it up, potentially, to snuff out one of the hyper carries and kill him before they can do anything. Logan make his way down to the bottom lane here, helping a 3-man as Hauntzer and Heaventime just shove this lane out, preventing any freeze possibility. Big Wave will reach the turret, but we've still got some time till those turrets take significant damage from champions. If that means much, Ziploc going to be grabbing his own camps at the top side of the map, a little bit more of a reserved style from Frank Fang Gaming, where they're letting Nian just sort of sit here, fight Hoodstomp in a 1v1.
This game is going to be a big test of mechanics and individual skill coming into the team fights, because you can team fight really well, but nobody's going to have a tank. Your junglers are going to be mildly tanky at best. You don't have a designated tank on either side. It's going to be based on the utility that Kayle brings, Orianna brings, and that Lulu brings to your team. And how well can you coordinate yourself in the middle of a fight to avoid damage?
Absolutely. Look at that. Oh, Baby's taking some damage. Look, you talk about not having tanks. Look at the item build for Captain Ziploc. He rushed an early Ruby Crystal. We did see Sightstone before a Spirit item in LCS today. I wonder if you see it, before upgrading all the way, but actually first off, Hoodstomp in the top lane, taking some damage, really get the cocoon, jukes back and forth, does land that, but Nian's got nothing else to do in this one, so we'll just trade blows, but we might actually see Sightstone just off the machete.
Oh, down bottom, Heaventime's looking for Baby Zeus.
Ooh, nearly lands the Q onto Lulu, could have been some nice damage there, but instead, just pushing him away from golden experience. You're seeing, honestly, Baby Zeus denied pretty well here. Lot and Heaventime making some good moves.
Yeah, and now we see Ziploc. He's trying to answer this, trying to get to the mid lane, but he's a little bit outmatched.
I don't think... Yeah, I'm surprised he's even showing up at all. There's no way they get any meaningful damage there. He does help Baby Tanso
is coming too.
Okay.
They're just all going to group together and make some rotations towards that mid lane. No reason to be top when the AD carry and the support are there.
True.
They're just going to be freezing the lane and trying to zone you. So he's going to go back to doing the jungle, being an honorary jungler for a little while.
Honorary jungle Nien. It's the only role he hasn't played yet.
Well, he's playing it right now.
Yes. Okay. Now, if Nien could just play support one game, he'll tie Chouster for playing every role in top-tier competitive play.
He's getting there.
Got a few guys like that, actually.
That's true. There's a couple of those multiple
like 3 or 4. Like, Elements is on, I think, 3 lanes. He hasn't played AD carry yet. He's played everything else.
Leona just hanging out in that bush. Baby Eater, looking for a victim. He's not going to get anything for it. And now the first backs are coming out here for a lot of the lanes. We just see a lot of Dorans being stacked on as well as boots for Hauntzer. At the same time, the mid laners have their chalices ready, going for that standard Athene's Unholy Grail. And what's Niantanso going to get? Yeah, he's going straight crit already.
He's going for the Shiv. Makes a whole bunch of sense. I do think it's a smart build. I think as a random note, oh, hold on, he's going to go top lane. Okay, no one's around.
They're not going to punish him for this either. That's a huge wave.
That's going to be, yeah, pretty much guaranteed farming this guy, and it's going to be FLICKR looking to make some moves around the map instead with those freed up champions. I assume we can get a Cutlass. Oh, interesting. So it's a Triforce rush actually for Hood Stomp. The early Phage comes out. Pretty similar combat stats to Cutlass, but wanting Triforce before Ruined King.
Yeah, he doesn't need the sustain if he's not going to go into a 2v2 lane, but it looks like that's what they're looking for in the bottom lane.
Well, keep in mind, he does have a Nami teammate, so
that's
sustain
true.
is something you have regardless. And to be fair, if you actually are going to fight Leona Lucian, 200 health is better than lifesteal.
That's absolutely right. And the fact that he can chase him down, or he can go ahead and a little bit of disengage if you attack and then run away.
Yeah. It's really minor. Like, I'd never noticed Phage move speed on 80 carries.
If you kill something,
it technically exists. I just never notice it.
Well, they found another thing here that I want to point out is they left Niantanso to catch up in the top lane.
Yeah,
he's level 5. He's pretty close to level 6. He's gotten 13 CS now, more than Hauntzer, which is crazy. They were just shutting him down all game. And now he's level 6. And the Ziploc, he went for it.
Heaven Time gets the better smite, though. Captain Ziploc just takes a bubble for a condolence prize, and out he goes. So well done, LawPro. They make the invade. And that wasn't even like a numbers advantage on that side of the map. It was a straight, what would have been a 4-on-4, and they just got it. It wasn't even a buff they killed. They timed that off the jungle route with their opponents.
It's very swift and decisive in that moment. And now Niantanso, he's going for this blue, but they know he's there.
That's super. I don't think he can. There's like almost no way he gets that away for free. So yeah, he aggroes it, and he's like, you know what? They know about this. He backs on off. So very well done by Heaven Time and the rest of LawPro. The lotations, as we talk about, and that was very successful here. So Captain Ziploc gonna look at his own red buff. Of course, there's a little piece left, so there we go.
And now the enemy red buff just came up, but I don't think that's what's going to be in his sight. I think it's going to be Hauntzer in the top lane. I think Nien might be calling for a little bit of help. See if they can get it rolling. Oh, he's going aggressive.
He's going to look for the play. He's got the knockup available. Can he get one on a Hauntzer that would allow the Elite Sync to come through? Does not land that one, unfortunately, but there comes the Cocoon. Good flash by Hauntzer.
Ends up trading a flash for Cocoon. Now repeat ganks are very possible. Yeah. Very probable.
Oh, yes.
There was no ward there, and now he knows that there's no ward. He's like, yeah, you didn't see that coming. You had to flash it. So now he's going to
pick a different brush anyway.
Different answer, different route.
Ian should have seen that trinket go down. They should know about that trinket in that heavy forward brush, so you can't walk any farther forward without giving away the gank attempt, which actually means he's really coming from the wrong angle now at this point. Ian looks for the knockup, gets it, no ulti.
Decides not the last breath off of it. He'll be ready in just a second, and they're going to go for it.
All right, can they get enough for this one? More damage comes through. He has the knockup available. There's the ulti used by Kale. So they're forcing cooldowns away, but nothing substantially gained right here, except some farm in the end.
Yeah, at the same time, though, they're going to go ahead and push this turret down. Hauntzer has no flash, no intervention. He's very vulnerable, but now that they see the jungler top, they go straight for the dragon.
Okay, so they earned enough pressure top lane to push the turret down, but LawPro have also earned themselves this bottom lane dragon. It'll be a trade of almost equal value right here. LawPro actually only 300 gold ahead right now. Very, very close. No, sorry, back to minus 400. There we go. Yeah, the initial dragon did go to Frank Fang Gaming, if I remember properly. So
they got that dragon very early on.
Yeah, the very early one, right? So slight overall global objective lead to Frank Fang.
But there's still turrets that are ripe for the taking here. Man, Nian's actually doing really well in terms of CS as a top laner.
Yeah.
Top laners usually get shut down very hardcore, but I also want to touch on Lod's CS. He's at 103 at 10 minutes versus Baby Zeus, who's at 69.
Yes, this is one matchup that was actually really miserable for Frank Fang Gaming so far, and that's one you got to be really worried about. An Orianna that gets big, quick, actually destroys AD carries. By the time she's at Athene's Death Cap, you lose more than half your health. If you're a Lucian, you've got to play around that so incredibly well, and it's hard.
It's incredibly hard. And the fact that usually you typically see something like 90 on a really good player at 10 minutes. Lod, 108.
Yeah, like the LCS average is like, what, mid to high 70s, I think?
Yeah. Lod, and he came from being an AD carry player, so this is what he knows.
Mechanics, actually with much weaker right clicks, to be fair. It's actually a lot harder when you have 50 AD compared to 74, but...
Clockwork wind-up. That's what I'll blame it on.
No, it definitely helps. It's more like 65, so I'll give you that one. But there's a flash forced away by Heaven Time. Looks like Frank Fang Gaming trying to make plays right here. Both top laners have teleport available if there's a big fight down here. But with the fact that Hoodstomp just recalled back for his Sheen, he and Low were nowhere around, so numbers advantage Frank Fang.
It's pretty funny because across the board, we see Neon Tonso's up 20 CS, and then his bottom lane's up 10 CS, but then in the mid lane, Lod's up 40.
Yeah.
So it basically just evens out throughout all of it. And now Ziploc, he's looking for something here. They cleared out the pink ward. Whether it's just the Wraith or not. Ooh, going after Neon Tonso.
Ward hop, Heaven Time's going to be in a pretty good spot there. Neon does have the knock-up available.
If he can dodge the next Q.
He does it.
He has wind wall.
Ooh, can he block the Q?
That's what he's waiting for. He's waiting for him to throw the wind wall out before Heaven Time throws out another Q. Yeah. That's what it was. He's just like, I'm waiting for you to do it first.
They both know. The burst goes in. LOH just gets exploded. The first blood goes over to Baby Eater, and he's going to have fish for dinner.
I talked about it before. The Zenith Blade in lane against the Nami is extremely powerful. You have to peel her off afterwards, and Low got stunned as he flashed. So he ended up just eating so much damage there from the culling from Latman.
And not even able to exhaust anything useful, so that spell is still available. Again, no ulti, as we all mentioned. These spells really not doing much for the guy, but Frank Fang Gaming keeping their team now on the bot lane. Here you're seeing this lane get pushed out. No dragon to do, no buffs to steal, so it's just a kill, and it's going to buy them time to put wards down, but that's their gain from this kill. A couple of wards, nothing else.
Yep. A lot of pinks already coming out here. Pink on the 80 carry for Latman. Looking to put that one down. And actually...
Ooh, wow. Low did not need to be right there. And Captain Ziploc, though, doesn't get really too much damage on anyway. He's going to back out with the repel, so not too bad. Hoodstomp still winning around trying to farm. 104 CS on COG.
The fun thing is Ziploc actually went for the Ancient Golem just to pull out. When he bought the Ruby Crystal, he went for cooldown reduction first.
Part of a Kindle Gem, yeah. But it's Heaven Time actually rushed Sightstone. He did that off Machete. So... Lee Sin's been putting wards down the entire freaking game. Hanser again, not getting initiated on. I'm a little bit surprised that Neon's not just blowing the ultimate just for harass. Hold on, first off though, Law Pro, oof, nice jump in right there. Nothing stolen away.
Baby
Good
got
blue
it
buff
too.
was Baby Zeus, yeah.
That's big, is that they coordinated, I'm going to smite now so you can go ahead and Glitter Lance. Otherwise it could have been stolen very easily off of that.
But yeah, the point I was trying to make earlier though, I'm actually surprised Neon is not just using his ultimate. So it's something that Katarina players do as well. Hold on, another fight. Never mind. Log, and he jumped on again. Big damage. Another burst comes through. They know he's available, but the exhaust onto Latman. He's got to get away from this one. Tidal Wave will not hit both, but Hoodstomp just gets some damage. And Baby Eater, and that team has to back off.
Baby Eater going really ham on that one, but damage on a support is not worth the damage on an AD carry.
Unless you can lifesteal it back in a short amount of time. Right now, looks like that's not the case here for these guys. You've got Baby Eater aggroing the white, and Latman's attacking it. Just maybe they can defend their turret.
Lot has just put his farm pants on. 156 at 14 minutes. He's taking the Wraiths every time they're up.
Yeah, he's getting nice and big there. Scary Oriannas, again, it's a threat there. He's actually got the early Sork shoes as well, so he's really pushing for his damage to squishies more than anything else.
That was the matchup that we wanted to keep an eye on, too. We've seen Laud in the past, after transitioning over, having great transition. But Neon's going aggro, but he doesn't know he's surrounded.
Play, knock up onto one there, going in for Hanser, who's going to ult himself now. Neon forced to run away for this one. Captain Ziploc looks like he'll be able to defend the team, and Heaven Time and Hanser now forced to run. Flash used for not much, because there's Repel to show up anyway. Damage comes out, Neon misses the Q. Q comes in though, and here comes Laud though, and they're going to get the kill picked up. Lee Sin claims that Ziploc's got nowhere to go either. He stayed a little bit too long, and that will be a 2 for 0 thanks to Laud's roam. Baby Zeus shows up, does not pick up any kills. Now he's in a 1 versus 3, trying to run away with Whimsy, but Lot is still there. The Orianna mechanics, one more attack. Oh, the ulti is still keeping him alive. The summoner heal as well. The Q, one more hit. Glitter Lance lands, and he can't quite chase him down, but even still 2-0 Law Pro.
Everything being used there to get Baby Zeus out at the end. Fantastic gank there by Heaven Time, and just a little bit of miscommunication. Neon Tonso comes in, doesn't know that Heaven Time's there. The ultimate comes down from Hanser, and now he actually comes back in and eats the Sonic Wave as soon as we see Orianna come back up. There's not enough time for that. The TP comes through and he gets it.
There we go. Kill picked up. Nicely done by LawPro. That top lane fight, though. Such miscommunication, though.
Yeah.
Yin is running away while Captain Ziplock's chasing him out, and just he even missed the wind wall in the KL queue. Like, a lot of unfortunate misplays there, and now this Leona taking some pain.
Yeah, and a big thing about that was that Laud got there before Baby Zeus did. Baby Zeus was off on the right side when Laud went up to the left, and he's like, oh, I'm lagging behind now, and it took him too long to even get in the fight, and by the time he got there, he's just getting zoned out by a double buff Laud.
Yeah, pretty scary, and you saw just amazing play. 176 CS, 102. Again, part of every kill for his team, so man of the hour for sure. FrankFang Gaming, though, wanting to take away on this Dragon. Lee Sin is far away, but just the power's too much. Hood Stomp. Man, I love Namikog, such a strong lane.
Yeah, it's an extremely strong lane, and you get a ton of damage off, and the ranges on it are actually very good. And the Intanso, looking for something here. We see Ziplock, everybody else, trying to take control of that right side. Nami just backed, Low is gone, so they will start this Dragon up.
And there we go, damage coming through, and again, it's FrankFang just trying to force the issue. These calls being made by Nian. This one looks like it might pay. Heaven Time wants to steal, won't get it. He does have flash, but there's way too much CC. Well done, FrankFang Gaming, to get that kill. Nian thankfully had his third Q available for the knock-up, and that was very well done.
But here's the thing, is they're going to get more off of it because they're all grouped up in this mid lane. Kale has no teleport. Hanser is up in the top lane. They see it. They're taking control of the jungle, and they're going to go after.
There's Leona. They can go for a lot. He's got to be pretty careful this one. Hood's not taking damage.
Baby's just
taking a lot of damage, and a missed Solar Flare. A two-man shock, if they go in anyway, and they pick up that kill, a win will help to keep the team alive as well. LawPro now forced to run away under their tier 2 turrets. Captain Ziplock still chasing the second time he's gone hyper-aggressive, but he's at least got Spiderlings to keep himself safe, and that will be a second kill picked up, plus more damage in this turret.
And they lost their AD carry, went off to the side instead of doing damage to this tier 1 turret, so it doesn't go down because they're too focused on the dive. They do get Laud, though.
Yeah.
And now he gets more CS in the bottom lane, stacking up that Bloodthirster, making it all worth.
He's actually going for Tri-Force second. That's what the Longsword's for, almost definitely there. So mid-game Power Spike Lucian build here. I guess the same really for this Kog'Maw of Hood Stomp as well. And we'll see if these guys continue to match up, how those fights end up going. Right now, the LawPro haven't found themselves in a properly numbered team fight yet. So something to worry about for these guys. But look at that. Latman's got to be real careful. If only he got that Nami Eon soon, that might have been something he could chase
Hood
down.
Stomp has red.
Yeah.
The whole thing. So he's hitting him, getting that slow onto him, and seeing if he can track him down. But, you know, Lucian removes slow, so he's a little bit safer than most AD carries in this regard.
I like that move right there. So this is smart. Heaven Time uses his E and his Q to trigger his attack speed.
Yeah.
So if he gets caught, his W is still up. Even though it's more efficient to use one skill twice.
Get caught.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Whew,
Ward hop, he's going to be fine. But that's really small point for Lee Sin players out there. Use E and Q to proc your passive when you're killing wards. You can ward hop away after.
It's been tip time with Freak.
Yep. Be a good waiter with all these tips.
Yeah. I think of my tip to you.
I went backwards on that one.
Yeah, my tip to you as a waiter would be get a new job.
Casting's more fun.
Yeah, well, I don't think you'd make a very good waiter. I'm just saying.
I'm too impatient.
Yeah.
Well, bottom lane tier 2 turret being attacked, or tier 1 turret I should say being attacked. Captain Ziplock waiting in the wings for an attempt right there. They do see Lee Sin mids. They know it's a 3-on-2. They go in Hood Stomp, taking a good bit of damage, but they don't get the umbrella out from this Baby Eater in time to get the lock up there. So he's going to stay safe. Trading ultimates. Laud has a new blue buff. He's going to hold mid. That turret staying safe right now. Looks like Baby Zeus will not put any more pressure down, but he will maybe try to roam around the bottom side. Whiffs. Doesn't care. He's just trying to get down for the fight.
Disregard pick wards, acquire gank.
I mean, this gank is acquired. There's no way you defend this one. So that's going to be a turret acquired here very faithfully. Mid lane is actually not being counterpushed, but actually it's the bot lane counterattack, but they're not going to be there in time. LawPro, no reason to show up here. They could have got mid turret damage.
He runs straight by the ward, and Laud actually takes his time to clear that one out. Meanwhile, they lose bottom turret. Now FrankFang has a little bit of lead, but they go after Low. He has no flash.
Outnumbered, and Low goes down. Extremely smart move there by FrankFang Gaming. And now in 3v2, they just back off. But here comes Orianna. It is going to be a 3-on-3 mid lane. Cleared by everybody, and these guys do get away safely.
Just in sync, too. Now, they're still sieging the bottom lane, though. That's actually something they have to worry about. Baby Eater off on the side. It's going to be a 2-on-3. Hits him with the Q. Stops his back.
Okay.
They're pinned down right now.
Now mid lane, Outer is going to be going down Baby Zeus. He roamed down to make a gank happen, then he stayed mid and got the turret kill. So far, these mid-game choices, the Baby Zeus have been very, very smart. Bottom lane, Outer taking a whole bunch of pain. They got to be a bit careful because you've got damage on both sides, but the turret does fall. Captain Zip like a kick back in, gets healed up, and he stays alive. Now Log gets jumped on, and big damage comes through. Latman claims that one. Now can they win the 2v2? Hanser is going to be in the middle of all this, doing what he can, try to make this happen, but no, look at how well this is working. Heaven Time's going to go down. Everything working so nicely.
Neon TP'd in the backside of that fight. And now Baby Zeus, he's going to go down in the middle. The blue's going to transfer over to Hanser. But in the meantime, it's still 3K gold lead for Frank Fang Gaming off of that.
They've made so many better choices in the mid game. And they're not even like the most obvious choice. They're just turning back when someone goes back to mid lane and finding the kills.
Yeah. Like, Neon's been top by himself for a very long time. He's actually going to teleport onto this ward right behind all of them on that pink ward. And he comes up, a flash out after the kick, and they get Laud pretty single-handedly. Well, Hood Stomp here. I think they could turn around with that TP, but Neon Thompson's already there, and he gets the cancel too.
Yeah, exceptional stuff right there by these guys. Very well played. So, Frank Fang Gaming, I mean, we said, hey, Neon's a shot caller here. He's done, they haven't been very heavily tested, but we know it's a good team, and they have made such good choices mid-game. Nice of Baby Eater right there. Little Leona Mechanics clears the ward, so that's going to remain Darkness. I'm impressed by FFG here.
Yeah, FFG have been putting on a great show so far. Latman coming up big at 2-0 and 5, 100% kill participation alongside Baby Eater, who I was talking to Frank Fang earlier today, and he's like, yeah, Baby Eater is one of our best players. He's very underrated.
Yeah, he's great. 106, flawless performance so far, 100% kill participation.
And I don't think it's just his mechanics. I think that he knows which target doesn't have flash down, or doesn't have flash up, and he will focus that person with his Zenith Blades and his aggression.
Absolutely agree. Like, all the in-fight target choices have been very crisp, and people are following up, hitting the right guy. Like, I absolutely agree. Maybe you're just finding the right targets. People are listening to him and getting those guys down. The fact that they ran in, just like dove on Laud and knew they'd get it.
Oh, they're sitting in this bush right now, and they actually pinged back.
That
Careful.
was smart. Heaven Time baited him just in time. Gonna stay safe. Neon Thompson will be getting red buff for himself, still splitting a fair bit, but no teleport, of course, right now.
And Dragon's actually coming up in 3 seconds. It's up actually right now. And they're still camping this area with LOLPro having no vision. They're going to have to muscle their way in there, but Neon Tanso is coming in alongside Baby Zeus.
Positioning right now not great, though, for Frank Fang Gaming. They're trying to surround, but they don't have the easy way in.
The ball is going to keep them zoned for a while. It's too much of a threat. Despite Laud not having a lot of kills, he has the most CS in the game.
See what they can get with this one. They're still looking for the attempt there. Baby Eater walking
forward. They put themselves in the pit.
Ooh, they're going to go for this dive anyway. Stun on a Heaven Time. There's the tidal wave coming across as well. A lot of damage comes through. Blue team picks up Dragon. The fight has begun, and a great windwall is going to stop some of the damage there. But Laud and everyone else getting still damage in the back lines. Heaven Time takes the KO ulti. Baby Eater forced to run away. The shields enough to keep him alive, and there's the engage, but it's going to be Nian going down, and now the damage has broken. 3 kills coming all at once for LOLPro. Captain Ziklock turns 1 back, but this 3-1 fight plus Dragon for LOLPro.
We were just talking about how the target selection for Frank Fang Gaming has been so crisp, but that fight, it just fell apart. There were multiple targets there that were just being chunked down a bit, and nobody actually gets dropped except for Low. Neon Tanso didn't get his last breath off until way late into the fight, right before his death. He actually had his last breath in the last breath when he came down. On Hanser, didn't end up getting the kill. Didn't end up killing Laud or Hood Stomp. Just all around just kind of falling apart there. And we're going to see it here. They all kind of separate around. Laud's the one who gets hit by it. They section them off and watch their target selection. Neon Tanso, he's no longer in this. Heaven Time, he has the ultimate on. Now it's like, oh, let's go after Hanser. Wait, no, let's go after them. They get Laud up, but nobody ends up dying. The split from Latman and from the rest of the damage is just not on the same person.
Yeah, and actually that was a really rough wind wall this game as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, we talked about Neon's Yasuo a bit, but like I haven't actually seen a great wind wall yet this fight. He hit it after the tidal wave went through and hit his team. He got it while Cog's already retreating back and has someone else to hit as well. So realistically, there's not like that's one of the big skills. Like that's it's weird, but it's like kind of part of the reason you pick Yasuo is you can shut down an AD carry by hitting W at the right time. And that's not something I've seen yet from Neon. So most of his team play calls have been great. Individual plays I'm not sold on right now.
Yeah, going to have to see, because both of these teams, and I've talked with both of them, they rely more on their rotations than their individual players and their shot calling. So it's going to be Neon Tanso and Low, and who can really direct the team better. in a more crisp way, but it's showing that they're both going toe-to-toe so far. Up top, though, it looks like the call was sit in the bush until we find Hanser overextending. Don't know if that's going to happen, though. He's playing really safe.
He's playing. I mean, it shows in the item build as well. He went second item Zhonya's hour.
Wow, what?
He is trying real hard to not get caught out by stuff. You know, if you can. Okay. There, right? Like, if you're gonna get solar flared,
yes,
you have to blow ulti or you die before you're unstunned, or you're at like 12 health and you're out of the fight anyway. But if you can blow Zhonya's for it, like I just dodge the solar flare, it's like, I mean, yeah, I have less damage than a death cap, but it completely enables your champion to do different things in a fight. So. It's an odd build, but I think it does make sense based on this team comp of FrankFang Gaming.
And the fact that he was up against Niantanso for so long, he's going to want the extra armor for himself. Also, he could use his Zhonya's to avoid the knockup.
Sure,
and negate the whole last breath portion. Now, 40 CS up, pretty close to being the highest CS in the game for Hanser, but he also has 100% kill participation for his team. So Hanser is getting big quickly. And Heaven Time, he's actually surrounded by two. What are they going to do about it?
Well, they took the time with this one. Knockup is there for Nian. Does he get the double knockup? Yes, he does. The solar flare getting a slow as well. There's the Zhonya's popped. And now can they go in for the rest of this fight there? They're trying to run away. Can they get the damage? Ziploc kicked back. Heaven Time gets the KO ulti. Nian going to chase down onto Hanser now instead. Misses the Q, but gets the second one there. Kill picked up on that one. 5v4 on the map. Baby Zeus getting chased down. The big damage, but Kog'Maw dies. 3 kills picked up. Nian getting the double. Another one goes down as the Kog'Maw falls. And what a beautiful fight there by FrankFang Gaming.
They're going straight for Baron.
27 minutes in, wind wall there.
A lot of the damage from the wind wall at the start.
Shields used to try to get Ziploc to heal up through the Ancient Golem before he takes some real damage from Baron. So far, so good. Locket also used, and this is going to work beautifully. Baron Nashor picked off a 4-0 fight for FrankFang Gaming. So well done.
Very decisive call there. Heaven Time went up to the top and just used his safeguard before the fight even started. Now they're going to get rewarded with 4 kills, a Baron, a tier 2 turret, and tons of gold for themselves.
We got mountains of it right there. Fort Knox waiting in the base there for FrankFang Gaming to cash in. And this was all kinds of a turnaround there. You just saw this blown out 4-for-0 fight or 4-for-1 fight down at Dragon. FrankFang find the way in on this.
I want to cover this because Heaven Time, he has no W at this point. Niantanso beautifully gets both of them locked up. Zhonya's is used, and now they're collapsing around. And off on the right side, we didn't get to watch this, but Low is there. He's trying to get Latman out of the fight with Baby Zeus. Shockwave hits nobody. So this fight is actually trailing off, and Hoodstomp gets so low from just Light Slinger passive that by the time that the culling comes out, he can no longer tank it. So we watch Niantanso go down to the side and just handle that fight perfectly from start to finish with the burst. And the fact that the Zhonya's was timed later than the last breath means that Hanser just ate the damage and then just couldn't do anything about it later and got picked off.
Yeah.
I think that the fact that they came in at the right angles that they were coming from is what set that fight up for for FrankFang Gaming, and the fact that LawPro was caught off guard completely. They had no idea how many members were around.
Yeah, it was great. You know, they tried a couple times for that like Fnatic brush, and that time it did work out.
They do that a lot.
It's exceptional.
Sometimes they sit around and they get nothing from it.
Sure, that's how it works, right?
But
you're playing the odds and you're hoping they show up.
And you only need one, and then you get Baron. You need a 4-0.
Yeah.
You get Baron.
You get one, you get the lopsided fight, and the game turns around. So exceptional stuff now by FrankFang Gaming, making the right choices. A 3,000 gold difference of this game, regardless, still very close. It's up to FFG to make something happen off this Baron buff.
Something else I really liked about that fight that happened was they only sent Nian to go deal with him, with Hanser. And also, Heaven Time was running around, so it was basically a 3-on-4.
Exactly.
That's what happened on the right side. And then Nian came back, and he's like, oh, Heaven Time's still here, stab him right in the gut and move on.
Beautiful stuff. So there we go. Dragons rush down. Baron buff earns that one for him. Still 2 minutes left until that one's going to time off them. So what else can they gain with these temporary stats? I don't know anyone who would go into that brush.
Oh.
I feel like there's no way you can do that.
Don't know,
yeah,
he's dead now.
To be fair, I've played solo queue. I've done that, to be fair. I've done that probably 50 times.
I knew a man who went into that bush once. He's dead now.
Yep. I don't know what that's from, but...
Nope, it's from nothing. He just
made it up?
Yep.
It just sounded epic.
That's cool.
That man doing some fancy moves. Zipping back and forth.
Ooh, that one has a ward, and they're going to clear it out and then move up after it's expired.
I like that only Baby Eater's showing. They're still hoping that they can get this weird bait going.
They know there's at least 2. Oh, there's another.
Now they know they're all there. And you can't easily defend a tier 2 turret like this.
The jig is up. Now they got to go
try.
It's very difficult.
It's possible with Orianna. Yeah, that's the thing is those kinds of turrets with your champion pool, you can sometimes do it. It's one that I'm always like really afraid of. It's like tier 2 turrets, you can surround them, you can dive on them. Baby Eater realistically could try to dive because he's tanky, but Shockwaves are scary.
The way in for them is Niantanso. He's going to continue to split push top and then TP into the fights after they've been engaged already, or they've been engaged on Frank Fan Gaming side, because this team is not oriented towards sieging. This composition is absolutely abysmal at sieging. You can really just clear waves with Lucian and maybe a little bit with Lulu, but up against LOLPro, you have Kale, you have Orianna who can just place the ball and just do pretty much proximity wave clear.
Yeah.
And then Hoodstomp's not afraid to throw his ultimate out at all to just clear him out.
Yeah, get people up.
So Nian's going to farm. He's going to get to a really big point. He's going to get the IE, get the 100% crit build going for him, as well as the magic resist that he's already stacked on with the Negatron Cloak early, to get to this point where he is pretty much just a huge beast that bursts your team down, since there's no real dedicated tank alongside just Heaven Time right now. Get into the back line, see what he can do, and TP's going to help him do that.
I like it. And because now at this point I think he's just so scary against Hanser that you can start splitting the team up, and life becomes painful for LOLPro with this kind of lead for Frank Fan Gaming. Baron buff timing out very soon, and it's really a lot on Lod. He has a whole bunch of money, the most on his team. If he can burst out the primarily squishy lineup of FFG, then they can turn these fights around.
Yeah, but the most gold in the game is Mr. Latman.
Yep, 415 Lucian.
Wonder if that's for his latissimus dorsis. He's just a Latman.
I got
He like blasts his lats every day. He's got big wing-looking things.
I mean, again, if you're an AD carry, you put your team on your back.
Ah!
You're gonna need strong back.
There you
muscles.
go. That's why he's the Latman.
I think that's like the most meta AD carry screen I've ever seen. That's awesome. I really hope that it doesn't even matter. It is now the reason to pick the name. Rewrite his entry in Leaguepedia. That is now why he picked the name. Confirmed 2014 on Riot stream.
Blasting his lats on Frank Fan Gaming, trying to carry them. But it's team effort. You can see Niantanso up here in the top lane with Captain Ziploc called to his side, waiting for a nice juicy pick to come, because this is how this team operates. I said they're abysmal at sieging. That's why they're looking for the picks. That's why they're looking for the pink ward bushes over and over and over again. Oh, they might get a little nibble, might get a bite, because Kale's coming up that way. Ziploc's backing.
Bottom lane turret taking a little bit of damage there, but Hood Stomp able to defend that. Minions only hit so hard. And it's going to be a nice, slower game here. The problem is LOLPro, they've got such good late game. They've got Kayla, they've got Kog'Maw, they've got ways to protect those things. I am concerned for FFG's future if they don't find a way to force the issue more.
Yeah, they're going to have to just try and get in there. And I was just informed that his last name is Latman.
Doesn't matter. Still the reason he picked the name.
Just so everyone
That is a secondary detail.
Man, maybe his parents were just really meta and knew he was going to play League of Legends.
Yep. When they got married, they were like, all right, gotta make sure our son plays League of Legends.
So they're still looking for this pick. They've been sitting here forever. Is it going to pay off? And now they're going to go for it.
Hanser going to take a little bit of damage. He's got to be careful with this one. When he's going to pop the ult, he pops it there, gets the knockup, goes for the lockdown, and pops a Zhonya. So he's taking a good long time to go down, but he's still got almost nowhere to go. There we go. They earned it. Captain Ziploc now unstoppable at 5-1 and 4.
That's how they crack the base, though. They can't siege very well, so they need to create a numbers advantage for themselves and then split themselves between lanes and just be like, all right, it's 1-2-2. You guys can go 1-1-2. And then we will slowly but surely crack that lane where you were outmatched.
You got to be careful, though. Someone's getting caught out in this one.
It's
going to be a 3-on-2, but he's going to go for this one anyway. Nian's got to be pretty careful.
Again.
Oh my gosh. Will they get anything going? No, they just lose a lot of health. And Baron's back up. Keep that one in mind. But now Captain Ziploc in this battle. But again, these are the injured members of the team. Lod can just carry this fight. But there's the bot lane fight. Latman forced to run away. Exhaust is on him. They do get the kill on a lot in the mid lane. But this fight's still going on. Bubble on a Baby Eater. Latman looks like he's not going to be able to pop that one, but the mid laners have all died. 2 more kills went down, and there's means another turret picked up in the 3-on-2.
Yeah, Niantanso, he got his last breath cooldown back up again. It is extremely short at level 16. But look at that, Latman, he's going to take another.
Got him down. Hood Stomp forcing the flash away from Baby Eater as well, but mid lane inhibitor now falling down rapidly, and Frank Fan Gaming got their way in. They baited out that fight just well enough, and they made it into the base.
It's very difficult when there's a huge fight going on that doesn't involve your shot caller, and he's in another lane during a split, because you have to watch multiple lanes and get really good information.
Hey, it's up to them, man. You got to trust in the fight.
Yeah. And it happened today, earlier, when we were watching the EG game. Shot caller's off somewhere else, and look at this. He doesn't get that one, but he comes back in afterwards, and he'll get his last breath off to help secure this entire fight. Pelt keeps him safe. But look at that.
There it is.
Right off the ultimate.
That was a good call. Flash blew the ulti into last breath, letting everyone know those ultis were available. And they just blew up that poor Orianna. But look at this. Look at this. LawPro. Off the recalls. The fights were so protracted.
Oh, he threw an ultimate at
control.
it. Baby Eater just threw his fight initiator. Ziplock's going to have to go into this.
He does have flash.
Just fair.
And no one's throwing the wards. They could actually go for the steal and try to do the attempt right there. Goes
they
in
pulled
early,
off of it.
and they're going to try to go for this one, but oh my gosh. Captain Ziplock is still too high to smite away right now. He's on the wrong side of this battle. Goes for it, gets it! Well done, Captain Ziplock. Flashes the ball, and the fight is on. Big damage comes through, but Nian falls down. It's going to be 2 kills to 1 so far. This is going really nicely, but they answer 2 back. No, Hoodstar on the wrong side of this fight. He just goes in into the face of everyone else, trades 1 back, but goes down. Captain Ziplock won't even die either. So 3-2 plus Baron. Frank Fang Gaming come up big.
That was Ziplock versus World right there.
Yeah.
Versus Baron and the other team. He was in there by himself for so long. The team of LawPro had pulled off, and he was just sitting at the gate like, I got to do the Baron, you guys. I got to do it, and he kills it at the very, very end of that. Incredible play there. LawPro was the right call to pull off. They just didn't do enough damage to Ziplock because they would have been collapsed on sooner. So it was kind of a lose-lose situation, and they had to go after the Baron. But now they have to defend these turrets.
Baby just goes in, face tanks this turret, and no one's going to be there to defend it for a few seconds, which will be enough for Latman and Baby to take it down. So, turret falls. Frank Fang Gaming now at 7 turrets killed, which means all of Tier 1 and Tier 2 is gone. Mid inhibitor, as we saw a little while ago, was taken away. And they're going to get Dragon as well off this. So, a big gold spike coming in for Frank Fang Gaming. They are looking really well poised to win Game 1.
Yeah, a lot of power spikes here, too. Nian Tanso, he got his level 18 very quickly. He has his 100% crit build coming in. He's going for the Guardian Angel. As soon as that is completed, it's going to be extremely deadly for LawPro. It's going to be very difficult to deal with it because they're going to have to need a perfect team fight with a perfect shockwave to pull off a victory in this one.
Can they find it then is the question, because that will be all kinds of difficult.
And it's fun, too, because Frank Fang Gaming, they had kind of this pit comp that sucks at sieging, but then they cracked the base, they got the inhibitor, and now they just have to full-on team fight. You can't really pick them off because Frank Fang, the way they get picks is you come out of the base. LawPro's just sitting in the base.
They're not leaving the base in this one. They've had those turned around one too many times, I'm pretty sure.
They're going to have to just farm up and wait for Frank Fang Gaming to come to them.
But that's the difficulty, right? Is aside from mid, inhibitor not going to have a turret up, and that's going to respawn actually really soon, the inhibitor itself. There's so much wave clear from LawPro, right? You've got Hurricane almost done now on Kale. You've got pretty much the full offensive build done here for Orianna. You've got a Kog'Maw who's got big Voidus on top of everything else, like just pretty good at killing minions as well. And you can see, these minions die rather rapidly, and Lod can generally clear them from safety. So it will require just sucking it up and going for it for Frank Fang Gaming.
And now let's see, can they actually do it? Nian Tanso, he loves this bush.
Yes, he does.
You're going to have some PTSD from being in this top lane near that bush if you play against Nian Tanso.
Yeah.
He just loves this sucker right here.
He's a fan of shrubberies.
He's a shrubber.
Yes, he's a shrubber.
The knights who say, Nian Tanso.
Yes! That is the exact reference I wanted, thank you. I got the knee and I was like, how do you make that funny?
I've been working with you for too long,
Frank. You sealed the deal, Zyrene, thank you.
Oh, Nian Tanso, though. Is he going to get knighted off this?
Doesn't actually go for the knockout that was on Heaven Time. It doesn't land the one on towards Haunter, but it does give them some time to look towards the mid lane. The inhibitor is back up, and they've got the Baron buff still.
Yeah, but they can go straight after this inhibitor, and they have great team fight. And the fact that Nian Tanso, he can pretty much use his last breath, come back, take a little chill for 30 seconds, come back, use it again. It's perfectly fine. And there's no tanks, and I talked about this, but Baby Eater, he's so tanky for himself. This Leona that was overlooked is now the largest tank in defensive stats on this team alongside Ziplock, but they have great backliners who can initiate.
This will be fun then. Can FFG make their way in? They're still respecting the Orianna ball. You're seeing Lod command respect, command attention from these guys. They've actually got a ward up there as well, watching the movements around. Minions die quickly. Now can they get in? Looks like Nian goes off to the left-hand side, looks for the tornado. Won't land that, but now the minions are gone, and the fight's going to be getting nice wall puts actually the ball towards the back line. That's not going to get in yet on this one. There's the engage towards Heaven Time. Half HP, he's going to get away. Shockwave's going to land on it too. That was a really good one. Latman forces a flash away. Baby Eater pops the ultimate, takes a whole bunch of damage. He goes down to Hood Stomp, and the fight begins as Haunter is forced towards the back line. But it's a 5v4. Frank Fang Gaming forced to run away from this one. Nien has the knockup, has the wind wall up. There's the stun into Heaven Time. One more attack, and he actually gets the tornado this time around. But that's a kill ulti down. Can they make their way in? He's got to be really afraid of a Hood Stomp, though. Big damage coming through on that one. More spam coming from above. There's the two-man knockup. They go into this one. He's forced to back away, though, from the exhaust. But the Kale goes down to the bottom side of that fight. Back to 4v4 we go. And now can they make their way in any farther? Baron Buff has timed out, but the wind wall comes out one more time, and the inhibitor falls down. FFG trying to run away the flash in for Kog'Maw. One hit. Captain Ziploc, he's not going to go down just yet, but Baby Zeus takes a bubble. This could be 2 more kills picked up. Latman tries to do what he can. Ziploc does get away. They actually trade back 2 kills, and they're not even dying. I can't believe that. Finally, the Ignite does claim Lulu. Captain Ziploc off in the wings. He still hasn't died in this fight. Lowe's got to be careful. Latman and Nien putting the damage down. Nice snipe there, but Hood Stomp in the complete fog of war picks up the jump there, but there's the knockup, gets it, another last breath, and Hood Stomp's got to be real careful, doesn't get enough damage. Tidal Wave comes out, that'll pop GA, but that's it. Wow.
Such a hectic fight, and I talked about how their win condition for LOLPro is to get a really good Orianna ultimate. They get it onto 2 people, chunks Latman out of the fight, so their AD carry was in the back for a large portion of it. But now they're going to continue to go into the base, and Niantanso, he's looking for low.
And he's going to have the ulti available in about 5 seconds. It could be his 3rd in this protracted engage. And they're going to back out now, but that's 2 inhibitors down now. That's enough for Frank Fang Gaming to set up a siege and close it out with super minions.
Now they're going to go straight for whatever they can get now. This is huge. This fight is just fantastic from all sides. They get 2 people there. Latman, he's off in the back. They focus a lot on Haunter, but in the meantime, Baby Eater just gets dropped. And now this is LOLPro. They actually divide off. They lead Haunter by himself for a little bit, off on the right, where he ends up just getting picked off. Now Hood Stomp, he's trying to do damage to this backline. Great Q comes across here by Niantanso onto 2, which causes Haunter to actually end up in a cocoon, gets blasted by Baby Zeus. And now they're all low. They go for this inhibitor once again, and just completely, like, LOLPro, look at that. They come in a little bit later, and they get Brave once the inhibitor's down. And now Hood Stomp, just trying to do his damage. He actually gets locked up right here with the cocoon that stops his damage output onto Baby Zeus, which gives him enough time to take out Orianna. And then he has to back off, ends up getting Ziploc over the wall from Ultimate. Living Artillery comes out here. Whee!
Really nicely done. He did see him leave with the other ward.
But you shouldn't play with fireworks.
Yeah, they'll explode on you. Gotta be careful. And then poor Hood Stomp. Tornado.
2nd tornado, last breath of the fight. I was talking about it earlier, how it's just got such a low cooldown later on in the game. You'll get 2, sometimes even 3 off prolonged engages like that. Once you see it used, you have to go all in. LOLPro took too long to re-engage that fight. After the inhibitor was down, we saw a Hood Stomp just flash forward and try to re-engage it with his damage.
Yeah.
If that had been a little bit sooner, then it would have paid off even bigger.
I was watching the entire fight. He was actually playing around his W cooldown the entire time. When it was down, he actually, I think he got 0 auto attacks without W on the entire time. Because he had to be so afraid of Elise, so afraid of a Lulu, so afraid of Yasuo getting you with an E. He remained out of range the entire time. I think that's actually the way you have to play COG. Your team has to play around that, but of course, when you've got a limited amount of time before your inhibitor dies, it's a difficult situation. Now top lane being attacked right there. No super minions yet in the base. So Frank Fang Gaming can take another 30 seconds, try again next wave, and then when there's pressure inside, they can get 3rd inhibitor.
If they can crack this base in the top, it's just a matter of time. They just have to stall, not make an engage here for Frank Fang Gaming. Wave clear, do a little bit of damage to the turret. It's already at half HP. The super minions are going to pull attention from the rest of LOLPro. And then they'll have a numbers advantage and they'll be able to take it out very quickly. As soon as they see Kale in the bottom, they're going to want to clear
This
it.
isn't the right time is the problem because they have no minion wave to actually push the wave down. And Haunter kills this wave so freaking fast. They're going to go anyway. They do go. They go to backdoor, but look at that. Ziploc takes a bunch of damage. Baby Eater now in front. They get some pain through the turret. Does finally not even quite fall, actually. Wow, forced to repel away. And there's the engage, right? Look how much damage they took trying to backdoor that. First inhibitor's coming back. Now minions are back into the base, but look at this. They managed to clear this wave. 5 on 5.
Their base needs help, though.
There we go. Wow, they are losing the turrets now. Another wave of supers come in, and Haunter is not available for the fight, so this time the push is going to work. There was enough pressure put down. Just maybe it's enough.
Haunter on farm duty, on protection. Lod still has the Orianna ultimate. That is LoLPro's way back in this game, whereas Frank Fang Gaming's is can Nian Tanso get a good ultimate off on multiple people. Guardian Angel's down, and he's still very squishy. One misstep could cost him his entire life and the game.
Absolutely could. You got to be careful. I mean, you give these guys a leg back in, they don't have to be afraid of you. And their damage output gets to scale up and be all kinds of scary. We've seen the Hurricane is done for Hanser. He's got Blue Elixir as well to guarantee 100% uptime on E. It's enough CDR to put yourself in a good spot. Just waiting around to defend this. All the inhibs are back up. Bot lane, though, is being pushed in by a minion wave, but there's no time for LoLPro to move. This is the attempt right now on this wave for Frank Fang to make their way in. They're putting some damage on Heaven Time, losing a bit of health. Who's going to land into the inhibitor? You just have to hope stays alive if you're a LoLPro fan right now. They've sent Kale down to clear away. Super Minions in the full wave, but that means it's time to go in. Tidal Wave comes across, does hit the team. Nian Tanso puts the wind wall down as well, but that is an inhibitor actually falling right now. Shockwave's going to catch up to Captain Ziploc. He's got to be careful. Takes a couple of heals in his shield, puts a stun on Lod, who takes a bunch of damage, but he does stay alive. The bottom inhib will actually go down to minions anyway, despite the fact they couldn't even win the battle. So this is now a very bad situation if you are LoLPro. And look at this mid lane still under fire. Frank Fang Gaming one hit in the third inhib, and now's the fight. They don't go for the hard engage just yet, though. Captain Ziploc forced all the way back, pops his shield. Lod gets the Kale ulti, and the GA has been popped by Nian. An all-out brawl inside the fight, and they're gonna get the inhib if they actually hit it, but they're hitting champions right now. Finally it goes down, but only Hanser has died so far. They've traded 1 for 1 as Nian falls as well. Baby Eater goes down. This fight's actually being won right now by LoLPro, but they have no inhibitors up.
And they're going to have double super minions coming into the base there. Nian Tanso, his Guardian Angel came up right before that fight, actually in the middle of it, and then he's able to just respawn, gets taken out after he swings at the inhibitor just once or twice.
Yeah. Oh, missed the jump, but it's okay.
Nobody saw it. His lats are just too big.
Yeah.
Takes away mobility for strength.
Sure. Wall only has space for regular-sized teammates. Frank Fang Gaming now, they are in a pretty good spot, though. 3 inhibs down and only 1 Nexus turret. LoLPro is on full-time defense. And in 30 seconds when the team respawns, they should be able to go for this one. Now, I've seen these kind of defenses before. It is possible. Once again, we just saw LoLPro win the fight in front of their base. But it's just going to be so hard for them to actually hold this out. The inhibs actually did die around the same time, so you actually have a couple of waves that are being doubled up like this.
It's possible, but it's difficult, and you also add about 7 minutes to the game time if you're going to win.
Yeah, LoLPro has to hold once, maybe even twice in a row, stabilize, and start making their way through the base. Like, an ace wouldn't win the game for LoLPro.
Even if you ace Frank Fang Gaming right now, like, imagine you went 5-0. Super minions would kill your base before you ended up getting in all the way.
Yeah, before you cross the river, it would probably kill your Nexus. So a lot of fear is going to be healthy right now for LoLPro, but they have to make this attempt. Frank Fang Gaming taking their time, though. They're grabbing this blue buff here. The longer they wait, though, the more chance an inhib respawns, and you lose out on the 6x super minion spawn, which I think is something you can ride in to win the game. I'm actually very surprised Frank Fang Gaming aren't rushing this down right now. I feel like your highest chance of winning is when you've got 3 inhibs dead.
Yeah, instead, they're just playing it safe, playing around the Baron timer, seeing if they'll be able to get it. But look at that. We just see Latman going for a red buff.
Okay, they're grouping up now.
Full build. 100%. He can't get any stronger than that. He could sell his boots for Zephyr, but that's about it.
Okay, so it's still, the wave that just spawned right now is still a double super minion wave. 8 minions spawned right there, so not enough time was wasted by FFG to let an inhib come back up. So they actually did the math right. They did the math right. They didn't lose out on the massive minion spawns there. So this is still a good timer. They've got all their buffs in the map as well. This is the highest Frank Fang Gaming will probably ever spike in this game right now. A little bit of harass coming down, removes Banshee's Veil if anywhere up. There weren't any anyway, but hey, would have done it. And now it's not going to be a bit careful, taking some damage, but it's a huge amount of damage on Baby Zeus off the screen. Shields were used to keep him alive. And is that going to be enough to actually force FFG away? The hero moves from Hood Stomp, but it just bought another minute of time.
Yeah, Baby Zeus is going to have to back off of that. He still has his ultimate, but he doesn't want to use anything that he doesn't have to. So he's just going to bide his time. Baron will be up very soon, and that's going to be the next point of contention here that Frank Fang Gaming want to go for. Question is, will LoLPro go for it? They have way too much attention on their base, though.
There is a lot of attention here, and I think we're done. Yep, we're done with double spawn supers. This is the last wave of double supers, and the rest of the inhibs are spawning in the next 30 to 45 seconds there. So LawPro have held their base against 3 inhibs down and 1 next turret down. Baron is coming up right about now. LawPro have very little time to leave their base alone. If they lose the fight, they lose the game. And so they will allow FFG Gaming the Baron, but you just had 5 minutes of dedicated free farm for Team LawPro to get the items back up. Their AD carry, Hood Stomp, is completely done with his build. He didn't even get a defensive item. He went all damage right here, adding the Triforce to the Static Shiv, to everything else there. Ton of attack speed on the champion, plenty of crit. And you have to be so afraid of him, and there's not a lot of good ways to get to him because you've still got a Nami, an Orianna, and a KO to back him up.
And he really hasn't been the target either. They've been going after everybody else except for him. He has the second least deaths on his team right next to Nami, who's just been right next to him low the entire time at his side, providing moral support. But man, nobody really tanky except for Heaven Time. But that's the thing, is FFG Gaming have bigger frontliners right now that take a little longer to burst through, just a little bit longer in those extra seconds when you have such high damage members of your team. Oh, wow.
Yeah, Captain Ziploc takes some shields. It's going to lose about a quarter of his health as well, but Baron buff is up, meaning a regen for the FFG Gaming squad. Red Elixir on Hood Stomp, but not blue, so he's missing that 10 CDR, which would be nice for the guy. Getting pushed around still a little bit more. You got to see what you can do with this one. There we go. He's double elixired now, so 10 CDR on his W, so about 1.8 seconds off.
Oh.
Wave clear from Latman, putting the damage through. Here we go for attempt number 15 to push him to the base.
Ooh. Not going to take that, yeah.
Yeah, that'd
one
be an
person.
overextension.
Nian's a greedy man.
It would force Kale ulti, but you'd probably lose your GA if you're in Nien.
Oh,
wow, look at the damage output there. Wind Wall's like 3 attacks late, loses half his health for a Hood Stomp, is still going to regen off these minions. You notice that they're letting him hit them to get his health back up.
And he needs that. We're going to see low. Oh, the split push coming out here from Baby Zeus.
And it's a Lichbane Lulu as well, which means very good damage to structures there. Cocoon going to land on a lot, but Hood Stomp just pushing the team away every single time. He goes in, a Wind Wall is used.
Yeah, Yasuo is going to be banned next game. Yasuo is going to be banned next
There's a good chance of that one.
Yeah. Whether it's on Hood Stomp's authority or somebody else on LawPro's. Basically, if Yasuo wasn't wind walling right there, the punishment for the positioning of FFG Gaming would be very evident.
Yeah, Nian's only ever lost 1 game in competitive on Yasuo in recent record. And that was actually like 2 days ago. So,
he goes for
another
this
attempt.
time.
He does get some good damage down. That's going to be everything burned to keep him alive. And actually a good disengage by Nian as well. Didn't lose his flash or anything. Hood Stomp lost both summoners, but we did keep the Kale ulti. Baby Zeus' split push did get the mid lane inhibitor. Well done there by FFG to make those plays. Now Baby Zeus looks for the bottom lane. Can he kite around everyone else? Top lane also taking some damage. It's a 4-on-4. Kale's not around. Going to turn back in. Heaven Time actually getting CC. A 3-man shockwave. Is that enough? A good wind wall, though, is going to stop all of Hood Stomp's damage, though he finally walks past that, looks for Captain Ziploc. Flash Force away. He stays alive for that one, but Elise finally goes down. They found a 1-for-0. They're still pushing these guys away. Baby Eater has to go, and he's been caught. He looks for the stun on a Hood Stomp, but he's got nowhere to go, which means another kill comes through, and LawPro find a 2-for-0. Now Latman forced to jump the wall. Hood Stomp not quite guessing properly with the ulti, but there comes a ward across the wall as well. Nian's got to be real careful. Hood Stomp gets a slow. He's got a lot of damage to put down. They're going to go for this duel. Who can win the fight? It's definitely not Latman, but Nian's off to the side. There's Baby Zeus, and Hood Stomp is so alone right there. Well overextended. Gives up a kill that he should not have. The knockup in for Nian. Looks for LOH as well. Loses out on his GA. Haunters around. 1 hit from Dead. The bubble. He gets the kill and trades it back. And now Latman, though, trying to kite away from Heaven Time. Can he make the play? The giant slow comes in. The flash from Kale. The burst comes out. Not going to be enough. Haunter clicks up the kill. Only 2 guys died from LawPro, but 4 went down for FFG.
Yeah, and that flash there at the very end, low, he throws the bubble and actually flashes onto Nian's body. So if he was trying to E out of it, then it wouldn't have worked as well. I mean, he'd still go a distance, but...
I feel like you flash away in that case. You don't get to E at all.
Yeah.
That was a little...
I was trying to justify it, but I'm like,
I think you wanted to like self-cast W or something, right? And like prevent a flash. Because he knows if he E's, he'll die, right?
Yeah.
And if he goes away, you're in range to W and kill him.
I'll just say that Low sacrificed himself.
Sure.
There we go.
I trust his intentions were pure.
Yes. Execution. Well,
he did die, so there was execution.
That's true. You want to take a bubble bath with Nian there.
All right.
At the very end. I'll go with that one.
That's a choice.
So this entire fight, all these fights have just been a very, very chaotic. The 3-man shockwave. And then Nian Tanso at this point, last breath is actually on cooldown there is what it looked like. from what I saw. He threw that last one out. But yeah, Baby Eater comes in the back line, just gets shredded by Hood Stomp after the CC is down. And now Hood Stomp goes for the chase on the Latman, decides to chase him around the left side, stops for a second, and then he goes, but here's the thing, is Nien comes back in, they're like, oh, we should go after Nien. Wait, Hood Stomp, what are you doing? They have no vision here, and he gets surrounded, because Nien's actually come and looped around the other way. Yeah. Now, this part right here, flashes the bubble, gets the knockup and the last breath, but the exhaust comes down, he gets taken out. Here, we're going to see the bubble come out. Boom, flashes on top of it, too. And gets taken out.
The thing is, bubble doesn't go any faster if you're close range. I think it was supposed to be like a flash bubble, like flash hooks or like flash like Leona E's or like, you know, things like that.
Bubble
that doesn't do anything with bubble. It's a static travel time.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like, you know? It was like this way to get the bubble down sooner.
Sometimes you just want to take a bubble bath.
All right.
That's my reasoning. That's the only justification I could come up with.
Same with Latman. It doesn't matter what the actual evidence is. It's just like we made it up, so now it's true.
Lowe's gonna tell me later what it was for.
It's fine.
And
it's like something like completely missing, and it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't think of that. But you know what? Right now, though, 2 inhibitors dead, and they're trying again now. LawPro have to defend the fact that the split push of Baby Zeus worked really well. Hood Stomp dodges a lot of the damage there. Well done on this one. And now it's Kale defending a bunch of minions, but it's Hurricane Kale. She's good at that stuff.
Yeah, she's definitely good at clearing these waves. Super minions are no problem for Kale either. And this game, it's pretty much even now. Because full build on multiple members here from LawPro. There's a couple of them that still have about one more item to finish up.
Yeah.
But this 12K gold advantage, 57 minutes into game 1 here between these two teams. A very tense situation. Next winner of a team fight will get a huge advantage.
Solar Flare hits Hood Stomp. That could be rough, but a tidal wave is perfect and stops everybody. Windwall, though, keeping the team alive. He's getting no damage through it. Now it falls over, but gets a knock up there and allows the team to disengage. Voidu's not going to hit really anyone in FFG. They go in one more time. Knockup's there, and they're going to go in, but oh my gosh, he just goes down. Hood Stomp kills off Nien, and Baby Eater one more time. He's in the wrong spot at the wrong time. Laud now on a rampage, and look at this LawPro completely catching up now. Now can they keep the inhibitors alive and make their way back across the map? That's the real test.
Yeah, the big thing with these team compositions is that Frank Fan Gaming's is terrible at sieging, and they're split pushing it with their basically their utility, the person who's supposed to be setting up Nien Tanso with the knockup, into the side lane. Their synergy is gone at that point. They've pulled out Hanser, so he can't keep Hood Stomp alive, but Hood Stomp is fine, just chilling in the back, doing as much damage as possible. He shredded Nien down in a couple of seconds there, despite the wind wall.
I gotta say, I really, really like how well Hood Stomp's playing this game.
Oh yeah.
He is, against a team that has a decent way in on him, he is putting this team on his back. He's the Latman of this game. He's got the lats here. But Hood Stomp, I mean, I like his item build to, he had Shiv, then he sold for PD because PD's more damage. The fact that he went 6 offense is the right choice. I actually like that he's actually staying on Zerkries with Fear Boots. I actually wouldn't change a single item on this build right here because he needs the mobility more than he needs more damage, more than he needs more durability. This is, I think, the exact optimal build right now.
Yeah, and I would say Hood Stomp's actually doing it right because he's using his legs to lift, not his back.
Yes.
That's where the stomp comes in. He's been working out for a long time now, since CLG Black.
The one thing, actually, theoretically you could change is Triforce for Frozen Mallet. Just to perma-slow somebody.
Okay. Okay. He would lose some movement speed and kiting potential there, but okay.
Actually, here's what I would change. I would switch Zerker Greaves for Ionian Boots Lucidity. Because 20% attack speed does not mean very much at this stage of the game. 15 CDR for your W does.
Okay.
It's like 2 to 3 seconds off the cooldown, which is a very significant margin.
Okay.
Because you can't fight when that thing's down.
Yeah. Well,
his DPS goes to 0.
He goes for, is that second Phantom Dancer there?
Okay, so we still try for second PD. That's okay, I get it.
Yep.
It is less mobility, it is a little bit more damage. I just don't think he hurts for damage right now. I think mobility is the only side he actually cares about.
They're all sitting here waiting for somebody to come out of the base. LawPro's not going to be that aggressive. They have all these wards across the map because when they got that kill, those kills, they just warded up. They littered the map with wards for the next 3 minutes now. They have one on the side of Baron. They ended up taking it for themselves. They're in a very good spot to just defend, wait for Frank Fang to come to them, and this team that is really bad at sieging is going to have to fight a team fight after some... Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. Low agrees.
He does agree. He knows what's going on. Stump's got a whole bunch of damage output, chaining double elixirs. He's still, so he's like sold and bought 2 or 3 different tier 3 items now at this point. Still has not upgraded his trinket.
Yep. I like the scrying orbs though, coming out from Hauntzer and Laud, because this entire
game
team
would be sitting in brushes.
Exactly, they'd be sitting in brushes, chilling. And what's going to help you? That is.
You know what's funny is that at the very beginning of the game, you sit in your base, you hide in brushes, wait for people to come into your jungle. 1 hour later, you sit in brushes, waiting for people to come into your jungle.
Wow. Exactly an hour later.
Come full circle.
Oh my god.
Like, I'm waiting for Blue Off to spawn in 3, 2, 1, and then, like, they go, right, you know?
Yeah. Well, they're making Baby Zeus, sorry, push that bottom lane just really hard and try to make a big wave there for themselves, and then Frank Fang will push top, but at the same time, it's a very difficult situation. They could just run up to the base. They don't need the minion waves behind them. It would help. But I don't like the split push strategy here, especially since Baby Zeus doesn't have teleport. Latman's going to go get red, and then they'll regroup again. They're just playing this very safe. Now, at this point in the game, it really is even across the board. The gold doesn't matter.
The gold doesn't matter. The problem is the champions do, and those tend to work in LoLPro's favor. They've won a bunch of fights in a row, basically, from a gold deficit, from having actually a lack of items. That's no longer the case. You've got Death Cap done for low. He said that for a short time now, but it means better heals, more damage from his slow. And he's going to have, I'm guessing, I think this is going to be Zhonya's next. I don't think DFG makes sense here. He can't really get it on anyone.
Oh, wow. They've been sitting in brush for so long here for LoLPro, or for Frank Fan Gaming, that LoLPro is just going to push up the middle right now. And Nian's still sitting in a bush.
Well, this is going to give time. This could be the base race situation right here. Like, you could have Baby Zeus push down, Lich Bane, Lulu's going to do a lot of damage, and you can defend with wind walls to keep your turrets alive. The flash and ooh. Forcing a flash away. Okay, Latman's going to stay alive. Go there we go. Inhibitor taking a whole bunch of damage. They're going for this one. We still got Baby Zeus pushing the bottom lane, but Minifib is gone. Here we go. Can they get it? Baby Zeus, Lich Bane doing what he can, but there's the engage.
So
where is Yasuo? They're actually pushing in. They're just trading the bases right now. First turret goes down. Bottom turret's dying as well. Who's going to get it?
They're going
being hit. They're going for it. Who's going to do the damage in time? Oh, wow. It's going to be LoLPro taking down the Nexus just barely. They turtled it out for 60 minutes. The base race comes in.
We talked about how you lose all 3 inhibitors, you prolong the game time if you're going to win by about 7 minutes. Okay, granted it was 17. About 4 times that.
Yeah.
But they come out on top despite being down in gold because they got to the point where gold doesn't matter anymore, and they relied on their picks and their composition that they made themselves.
Yeah.
We talked about a champion select, the multiple threats that they had. The attack speed from Cog, the double Phantom Dancer coming up really big there for him.
Yeah.
Just so much attack speed, shredding through an inhibitor turret, an inhibitor, 2 Nexus turrets, and a Nexus in the time that took them to go through 1 inhib, 1 inhibitor, 1 Nexus turret, and the Nexus.
Yeah. You know what should have happened, though? Nian recalls and wind walls the turret, and they win the game.
It would have been just Lulu, and I think it would have just.
I mean, he's riding minions in, right?
That's true. That's
enough.
True.
You drop Kog'Maw damage and Nami damage and Orianna damage. That's more than Yasuo's going to do by himself.
Wow.
Right? That's a significant difference in what those two do. That's all it would have taken, to be honest.
They took a long time to start making their move.
Yeah.
Nian didn't leave that brush for a very long time.
Yeah.
I was watching it and I was like, okay. They're dedicated to the base race now. As soon as they started attacking that first inhib turret, there was a moment where you could have gone sooner than that. It was kind of a wishy-washy thing there. But in the end, that's when the communication breaks down. How much damage do we have? How much damage do we actually do to these turrets? How quickly are we going to do it in comparison to the other side of the map? What's going on there?
Sure.
So they grouped up as a huge team, LoLPro did, and just pushed it down. They won down in kills, down in gold. 1 hour and 2 minutes was how long that game was, and it's a best of 3. That was just game 1, guys.
That was just
we have way more of this coming your way in just a moment here. But I want to break it down from the start. LoLPro seemed like they were getting out-rotated by Frank Fang Gaming.
Yeah.
Frank Fang got an early lead after a couple of dragons, after some really good rotations by them. They got some really good picks. They stood in brush and got 4-0, and then they cracked the base very early. Their team composition wasn't that great at sieging because the Ziggs was banned away, the Nidalee was banned away from them, and LoLPro played this really well from champion select.
Yeah, they did. They got their way back in, found a comp that would work by the end of it all when that couldn't be dealt with. And I mean, it was weird though because, like, the correct decision could have been made by Frank Fan Gaming. I thought the strategic moves, so the strategic move at the very end of the game was correct on both sides. It was LawPro identifying that they will eventually get stretched out and eventually they will lose because they have to fight as a group to make it work. Like Kale can't solo anything, Cog can't solo anything, right? Nami, Orient, like these all require setup, these all require teamwork. You have to pretty much 5-man something. That was the right call to go down the mid lane. I think it was the right call by Frank Fan Gaming as well to say, look, we have a Lichbane Lulu, go split push. If they catch you, you can get away. There's no hard engage. It's land a skill shot. Well, you're not going to land a skill shot on Whimsy Lulu with Flash. That's not going to happen. So they both made the right choice in terms of like what we should do directionally. The individual misplay, right? Again, you recall, use a win while you win the game. That was the misplay to me. But that was the only play LawPro had, so I thought those were smart choices on a whole. It was the execution that went wrong. And yeah, right, like, you know that you can wait around with Kale and Kog'Maw's going to work. The fact though that they did get pushed around in the first 25 minutes, the fact that Frank Fan Gaming did make all these great choices early on, still gives me a lot of hope for them in this series. I think they can fix the issue and make it in. But I mean, just what can you say? What a game!
Oh yeah, what a game! Basically, what it comes down to there. I liked the picks. I liked that they stalled the game out for a very long time because basically my whole memory of this game is Frank Fan Gaming on the doorstep of LawPro's base. That was like from the 30-minute mark onward.
Yeah.
The entire game was happening in LawPro's base. They started farming up. Granted, they never were ahead in gold since about that 27-minute mark, 20-minute mark. Just well played by them to just stall it out, be calm about things, and not rushed.
Mm-hmm. And that's the right thing, right? LawPro, they know when they win the game 30 minutes from then, right? They know there's no way in until then. You just like prepare to be patient, prepare to wait around, prepare to put yourself in a situation where you're playing for an hour-long game. Just get ready for that. And honestly, the more I'm looking at this game, the more I'm looking at the stats and everything else, the more I'm like, LawPro was way more ready for this. They bought the trinkets, right? The blue trinkets there. They made the smart choice to go for Phantom Dancer, not Trinity Force on the AD carry, which by endgame is the better build. You still had Banshees, Triforce, right? Zephyr instead of Boots, where it's like, you need damage to kill tank slap, man. You don't, like, Zephyr's like almost never actually the right build for an AD carry, to be honest, as the 6th item. I think it's actually completely useless.
And there isn't anything that he could tenacity actually off of LawPro.
Right. There's no point.
There's not a single thing except for a slow.
Kale Q, which is like, you're going to die anyway, or you're going to cleanse it anyway with your E. So
there's just some slows, but you're Lucian. You're going to get rid of the slow anyway.
Right. So a lot of small individual things that could have been fixed by Frank Fan Gaming. Overall, though, again, the first 30 minutes, a whole bunch of fun and well played by both sides. Guys, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it's time for Game 2 between Frank Fan Gaming and Team LawPro, with a trip to the finals in London on the line. Don't go anywhere. Flash used for not much because there's Repel to show up anyway. Damage comes out in the end, misses the Q. Q comes in though, and here comes Lod though, and they're going to get the kill picked up. Lee Sin claims that Ziplock's got nowhere to go either. He stayed a little bit too long, and that will be a 2-for-0 kill picked up on that one. 5v4 on the map. Baby's just getting chased down. The big damage, but Kog'Maw dies. 3 kills picked up. Ziplock is still too high to smite away right now. He's on the wrong side of this battle. Goes for it, gets it. Well done, Captain Ziplock. Flashes the ball, and the fight is on. Big damage comes through, but Neon falls down. It's going to be 2 kills to 1 so far. This is going really nicely. Captain Ziplock, he's not going to go down just yet, but Baby Zeus takes the bubble. This could be 2 more kills picked up. Blattman tries to do what he can. Ziplock does get away. They actually trade back 2 kills, and they're not even dying. Going to turn back in. Eventime actually getting CC'd up. A 3-man shockwave. Is that enough? A good wind wall, though, is going to stop all of Hoodstomp's damage, though he finally walks past that. Looks for Captain Ziplock. Flash Force away. He stays alive for that one, but Elise finally goes down. Not going to hit really anyone FFG. They go in one more time. Knockup's there, and they're going to go in, but oh my gosh, he just goes down. Hoodstomp kills off Nian and Baby Eater one more time. He's in the wrong spot at the wrong time. What he can, but there's the engage. Where is Yasuo? They're actually pushing in. They're just trading the bases right now. First turret goes down. Bottom turret's dying as well. Who's going to get it? Next is being hit, and they're going for it. Who's going to do the damage in time? Oh, wow. It's going to be LawPro taking down the Nexus.